going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of La Vida Podcast. Thank you all for tuning in. Today we are at the OG Click Studios. The owner is a good friend of mine that we know each other for several years. So we'll introduce you to him and hear a little bit more about his stories. Billy, how you doing, brother? Thanks
I'm doing good. How are you?
Coming through. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to come through your studio and give us a little bit of your background and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I highly appreciate that.
Oh, absolutely, bro. It's an honor.
Thank you. Can you be kind to introduce yourself to the viewers and let them know a little bit about yourself, please?
Yeah, my name is James. Everybody calls me Billy the Kid. I grew up in South Central Los Angeles, born and raised. Well, my family was born here.
Okay.
My grandma and grandpa, they were born in Mexico.
Got it.
So like we're third generation Chicanos, you know.
Yes, sir.
I don't speak any Spanish, you know, for whatever reason that is. They didn't teach us growing up.
Got it.
But I was raised in church.
Okay.
My parents were in church before I was born.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't know anything else other than going to church, you know, a couple times, 3 times, 4 times a week. The church that we went to was called Praise Chapel.
Okay.
And their motto was to win, build, and send. So they would pull people out of the neighborhood.
Okay.
And they'll build them up, and then they'll send them out and plant other churches.
Okay.
So around 4 years old, my parents got sent out to Texas to pastor a church. So they got up and we moved out to Texas for a couple years.
Oh, wow.
So about 3 years later, we came back, moved back to South Central. Mm-hmm. My grandpa had built some duplexes.
Okay.
Right there on, we lived on Converse and 6th-9.
Okay.
So right there on Florence and Converse.
Yeah.
And all our family lived there. Like my cousins, my aunts, we all lived in the same 3 duplexes and a house in the back.
Nice.
That's where we were raised at. And I think like my earliest memories there growing up would be going to the park, playing baseball, going down to the hamburger stand, to the car wash, eating hamburgers and chili cheese fries, you know, in the neighborhood. This is before any of my family members before any gangs or anything. Yeah. We were just, you know what I mean? That was my earliest memories growing up there.
That's dope.
And I think as we got older,
yeah,
all our friends started to get into the neighborhood and stuff like that. And my family was like, you know what? It's time for us to move.
So you move again after you came back from Texas?
Yeah, I think about 13 years old.
Okay.
We moved out of South Central and we moved out to Norwalk.
Oh, okay.
We moved to Norwalk for a couple of years and we were there, and that's where, I was already not a bad kid.
Okay.
But I was always getting into fights and just things that kids do.
Yeah.
Throwing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Breaking things and just getting in trouble. And before it became a real issue.
Okay.
That's when we moved.
At what stage you start having more issues, like you said, more problems? During when you were in South Central or when you moved to Norwalk?
Always been an active kid.
Okay.
So I've always been into problems, you know, but not serious problems.
Okay.
It was just little stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I never listened, never paid attention in school, always the clown, just stuff that kids do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly,
like,
yeah.
We're kids, we're boys.
Of course.
We're active.
Yeah.
You know? But it didn't stop there. When I got to Norwalk, still getting in fights, still getting in trouble, you know what I mean? The basic stuff, and then I started messing around with drugs.
Okay.
I think my parents tried to shield me from that lifestyle because they grew up, my parents were from gangs.
Okay.
And I didn't know that life. And they were trying to keep me away from that life, so I was always in church.
Makes sense.
So I didn't know any of that.
Okay.
I think the first time I started messing around with drugs, probably like middle school.
How old were you when you got your first introduction to drugs, and what was it?
The first time I used drugs, it was probably I smoked weed.
Okay.
Yeah, I was smoking some weed.
Okay.
And it was just here and there. You know, it was nothing crazy. And then a little bit of alcohol.
Okay.
But it wasn't until maybe about like high school I tried meth. I tried meth in high school, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. And it was every now and then. You know what I mean? I think it was about maybe sophomore year, junior year.
You were a kid at that time.
Yeah, maybe like 15, 16.
Who introduced you to that type of drug? Because that's really at that time, you know what I mean?
That was a little over what, 25 years ago?
Yeah.
When I first tried it, maybe. It was a friend of mine, and it wasn't looked upon. It wasn't frowned upon at that time. It was like more of a party drug, like a weekend thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I remember when I got to high school, I got kicked out of high school, so I got shipped to La Mirada High.
Okay.
My senior year, and by that time I was using drugs a lot more, and I started selling meth.
Okay.
And using it, basically just to smoke for free.
Correct.
And I had problems there too. You know, it's just I was already an addict. I was addicted to it, and I really liked the high.
Were you what's the word? An addict that is functional to, you know, going to school and you
in
know,
the beginning, in the beginning I was functioning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Still try to. And when I got out of high school, I got a job. I was working. You know what I mean? Selling drugs, going to work. It was like a functioning addict. You know what I mean?
That's the word that I was looking for.
At that time, I didn't even know I was addicted yet.
Correct.
I was just having a good time.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel that at that time, we're not really fully understanding of what we're getting ourselves into, you know?
Yeah.
And definitely doesn't hit us until shit hits the fan. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it took a long time for me to even realize that, you know?
Okay.
Like, it was probably years after that before anything bad really happened. I mean, of course, I was always stealing and robbing and cons and anything I could think of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To come up with extra money. Even though I had a job, I would lose a job because of the drugs.
Correct.
And then it wasn't until years later I tried to get clean. And I can't remember the first time it was, but I kind of realized I had a problem. So
what made you take the decision? You're like, shit, you know, I need to get my shit together. It's time for me to start getting clean, or maybe kind of lay low in that type of drug.
I grew up in church, so I knew what I was doing was wrong.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My parents' background, I'm a Christian. It's like, I knew I wasn't doing right, but that drug, you don't care. You don't care what you're doing. You don't care about anybody, who you're hurting. You don't care. So I just didn't care. And I can't remember the first time I tried to get clean, but it was many times. I tried for years. One of the times I went to a rehab, it was a men's home. Went there for a couple of days, but it was down the street from my connect's house. So that lasted like 3 weeks. Got out, I got a job. I would do good for 30 days.
Okay.
Get a good check, and then I'll go straight to the connect. And then I would go on a spiral again.
Wow.
And that lasted I went to a men's home 30 days, and I went to a program 90 days, came out, messed up. It was always a 30-day after I got out, I would mess up. Around this time, I had met a girl, and we started dating. And
how old were you at that time?
I was probably like maybe 21.
21?
About 21, I think.
So you were already on a 6-7 year straight using,
oh yeah,
you know, putting work and
everything. Just running the streets. Yeah. Running amok, living in my parents' house, just in and out of jail already.
Okay.
Little misdemeanors, you know, for tagging, for vandalism, just different things, like just inside the system, you know, back and forth already.
Did your parents ever notice you being on drug or any type of you changing your ways?
They knew something was changing, they just didn't know what it was.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
I remember the first time I got caught, I had came home and the light was on my room.
Okay.
So I waited for a little while. And I went inside and my drugs were gone.
Oh,
so the next day my dad's like, hey, I found this. I don't know who you owe or whose it is, but take it back to them. He goes, I was gonna flush it, but he goes, you probably owe somebody. Take it back to them and come home. So I took it, went and got high. I went and got high, gave the rest of my friends, said, hey, do what you gotta do with it. And I went home and I cleaned up for a little bit and got another job, and same thing, same process.
Were you nervous when your dad found it and
chopped it up with you? I thought he was gonna be mad, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they know how to deal. They come from the background of drugs.
Okay.
Right? And alcohol and gang violence. They come from that, so they know the game already.
Yeah.
So they reacted a lot different than I expected, which was rare. Like I was surprised.
You were expecting more aggressive reaction from him?
Yeah.
But he eventually sat down with you and chopped that up and said, you know what I mean? You know.
So then realized like I kind of got a problem.
Okay.
You know, and they've always kicked me out the house. I just never left. They've always kicked me out, and I would leave for the night and come back the next day like nothing happened. Yeah. You know, and that's how it went. And I think at one point I remember they kicked me out, like for reals this time, and I went to live with some friends. And I got clean. I got clean for maybe like a month. Okay. Got a job and went back again. I just couldn't do it on my own. Like me, myself, and my power, I couldn't do it. I couldn't stay clean. That was like my biggest thing. Like nothing else mattered. Wow. It was just getting high. It's just, that's what I did, you know. And I had met a girl around that time, and we started dating. This is when I got kicked out. Mm-hmm. And we ended up getting married. We got married, and I was like, you know what? Maybe like a few months or maybe like 6 months after, she got pregnant with my first daughter.
How old were you at that time?
I want to say I was like maybe 22. Okay. Maybe about 22 years old. Not quite sure. And then I realized, you know what? I need to change. I need to change some things, you know. And that didn't last long. That didn't last long because it just didn't last long. Yeah. And it was towards the end of her pregnancy, I got clean. I was clean for like maybe 2 months. And I remember the night that she was in labor. We went to the hospital, right? I was living in my parents' house. She's living with me. And we go to the hospital. I'm clean, right? And the baby's born, my daughter. Okay. And some of our friends showed up and stuff, celebrating. It's like, hey, go home and pick up our bag. Okay, cool. We forgot it. The guys take me. I was like, hey, let's celebrate. I go out and I score. That night, the night my daughter was born, I go out and get high. Wow. So there it goes again. So, I mean, it was just a nasty spiral, back and forth. I just couldn't stay clean. And I started doing my own tranzas again. Yeah. Doing what I used to do. You know what I mean? Different cons and different this and that. And I remember towards the end, right before I really got clean, I did a job. I did a jale. Mm-hmm. I got caught. I didn't get caught at the time, but after I did it, I kind of got shook up. Okay. And I was like, I need to go away. So I went away to a rehab in the desert in Acton for like 90 days. Right before the 90-day mark there, they kicked me out. Right?
That's 3 months clean.
Yeah, almost 3 months. It was like 80 days they kicked me out because I was acting up over there. I wasn't getting high, but I was acting up. Okay. It's just, you know what I mean? So I come back.
Is there a reason why you were getting that, what would be the word? Because you didn't have the drug and you were cleaning up, so your body was reacting of not having drugs, so you were just getting anxious or
trying to just be normal. Like I just didn't know how to act. Okay. And plus I had a problem with authority. Like I didn't like anybody with authority telling me what to do. Okay. Like I didn't care who you are. Cop, anybody. I didn't want anybody to control me.
I understand.
You know, so I'd come out and I asked my parents, can I come back? And they said, yeah, you stayed clean. I think I stayed clean for a little bit. Again, same thing. Once I go get clean, maybe get clean up, and maybe we work things out. Got it. And so I left. Okay. My parents picked me up. Well, right when I called them, they say, we'll be there in an hour. I sit down and I just reflect on everything, and the phone rings. And I answer it, and it was my connect. I was like, hello, who's this? He's like, the devil. I was like, who? He's like, the devil. I was like, what's up? He's like, I just got a new batch. You want to get high? And I was like, I'm done. He's like, you'll be back. And he hung up. I'll never forget that phone call.
So he was straight out like that?
Just, that's what he said.
The devil.
I was like, who's this? He's like, the devil. I was like, no, I'm good.
Wow.
But I knew who it was. It was my connect. Like,
of course.
And that was probably the best choice I ever made because that was April 10th, 2009.
April 6th.
That's the day that I gave up. I gave myself up. I stopped trying. I went to my parents' house. I started going to church. I got saved. I gave my life back to the Lord. And I was like, Lord, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Like, I've tried for 10 years now, 7 years, whatever. I need you to do this because I can't. So I stopped doing everything. I stopped doing those little jobs I was doing, little tranzas, and I was just getting clean at my parents' house. On May 7th, 2009, they raided my house. They raided my house for the robbery I did 2 years prior. So I had made the decision to get clean and do better now. But
came back.
It came back.
Came back behind you.
You reap what you sow. Like, because you decide to do good.
Correct.
You still got to pay for the stuff you did in your past.
We live by the sword. We die by the sword.
Yeah. So they raided my house, and I went inside for like nothing crazy, maybe like 90 days.
And your parents were always behind you and giving you support.
Yeah.
And all of that.
So my daughter was with me.
Yeah.
So they watched my daughter. When I came out on house arrest, I went in for a felony misdemeanor.
Okay.
So they swabbed me. When they swabbed me for the felony, my DNA hit. My DNA hit for the robbery. When they pulled me in first, it was for some misdemeanors, felony misdemeanors. When they swabbed me in there, I came out on house arrest. That's when they connected me to the robbery for the felony.
2 years prior.
Yeah. So now they're watching me as I get out the house. And I'm clean now. I'm clean from April to October.
Okay.
They raided my house again. And they take me in for that robbery.
The second time.
So I go in this time. Now I'm looking at real time. I was fighting. Maybe it was like 16 years to start. So I fought that case for 9 months.
So I'm imagining you were in jail and thinking about it. I'm over here getting clean, trying to do better, and then.
Oh, I hated it.
Fucking, you know what I mean?
It was like, I didn't understand why. For a long time, I didn't understand why. Like, I finally made the decision to do right, and this happens. Like, I should just kept getting high. You know? I felt like that for a while, for a couple of years maybe. And then finally, as we fought the case, I fought it for 9 months. You get tired of going to court at 3 a.m. every day, and it finally dropped down to 7 years. And I remember my mom's friend. He's a lawyer. He said, hey, because I was denying it. Like, I didn't do it. He's like, hey, if you did it, and I talked to him. We talked to my mom. Right? This is a good deal. Because you don't take it to trial. You take it to trial, you're going to lose. You're going to get 12. So, prayed about it, and I felt right. I was like, I got to take it. And so I took 7 years. I took 7 years to 85%.
Took the plea. Wow. Sounds like your parents.
That was in 2009.
2009. Sounds like your parents eventually they were there on the thick and thin of everything.
Oh, they were.
You know what I mean? And by telling your story, and it sounds eventually your youth, it was definitely average youth from, like every other kid back in the 80s, 90s, you know what I mean? Playing hide and seek and all the good stuff, you know what I mean? But what was missing at that stage when you took that decision, or maybe you were like, fuck it, I'm gonna take that drug? What was missing at that time for you to decide, hey, I wanna start getting high? Was anything missing, or what do you think?
There was nothing missing. I had both my parents. I had the love. We had the family. We were in church. Like, I had the support.
Correct.
The friends. Like, I wasn't missing anything. Like, they loved us. They were good parents. They taught us right. They wanted the best for us. I was just one of those kids that had to find out the hard way.
I understand.
Like, if someone told me, my parents, they go, don't throw that rock. I would throw the rock. Hey, don't get high. I would get high.
We'll do it on purpose.
You know what I mean? Like, that's who I am.
I understand.
And it's always been that way. Like, I would like to find out for myself.
Yeah.
They say, hey, that's dangerous over there. Don't go. Well, let me see. So that's just how it's always been.
That's how you are at that time.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
I mean, there was nothing lacking,
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. So now we're back into the taking the plea, and then they give you 7 years. 7 years. How is that? How is Billy taking that 7 years? The first time when you heard that, you were like, fuck it, you want to do 7 years?
Well, it was tough. I mean, from doing just 90 days to 30 days to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A couple nights in county jail. That was the longest stretch.
What's a major change?
That was going to be a make it or break it. You know,
Yeah.
either I'm going to be in and out for the rest of my life, or it was going to change me. I didn't know at the time what it was going to do.
Wow.
All I knew at that moment, I was still clean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's been like maybe like 9 months now, 10 months, still clean.
Good.
Not that it wasn't in there. There's more drugs in there.
Of course.
You know what I mean? But it just made a decision. And plus, I mean, I didn't want to do all this for nothing, you know? I was tired.
Yeah.
My daughter was 3. And so I was fortunate enough, my parents had my daughter at the time. And every visiting, during my fighting it, they would bring her.
Okay.
And then when I landed in state, they would bring her every chance they got, every visiting once a month. They would, wherever I was at.
Wow.
Whether it was up north or down, wherever I was at, they would bring my daughter. And so I have a good relationship with my daughter to this day.
Good.
So my daughter stayed with my parents the entire time. So when I got out, I mean, after a couple years inside, you make the best of it.
Of course.
You know? Learn to trade, and I mean, you get used to it.
Yeah.
I can see how people, it's normal, because it gets normal.
Yeah.
Like, it's just life in there, you know? So as I get out, I divorced her, and I had nothing. I come out with nothing.
All right, what year you got out and how old were you?
I got out when I was 31.
Okay.
So that was, I want to say 2015. It's been 10 years, almost 10 years now. August of 2015.
That's when they released you.
That's when I released. So
what was going through your head when they let you go and you were like, I gotta do something out of my life? What was Billy the Kid thinking about the day off?
I didn't think I was getting released. I was like, man, there's something else gonna pop up. Like,
yeah.
I was nervous.
You couldn't believe that.
No, so I did so much dirt in the past, and like something's coming back. Like, it was like something.
Yeah.
You know, like and I got out, and when I got in the car, I was like, all right, it's real now. And I didn't know anything. I had to deal with the issues of my daughter,
Okay.
you know, feeling abandoned, you know, because I got snatched out of her life.
Of course.
So I remember sleeping on the floor of her room for the first year because she had issues. You know, she's now 9. I left when she was 3. She's now 9. So that's something I had to deal with. That was all new. And being clean, and you know what I mean? It's just a whole different life. And it was a decision.
Yeah.
Like, I could have decided to go out and get high again, but it would have been for nothing.
Of course.
You know? So I decided, you know what I mean? I'm going to do right this time. I have a clean slate. I'm no longer craving the drugs. I'm not addicted to it no more. Like, I got to do right this time. So I started going to church, got a job, and I bounced around from job to job looking for the right thing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, everything. I remember I was working for the post office for a little while, and that didn't work out. And I think after like right when I got out, my one of my best friends, he said, "Hey, I started a clothing brand." I was like, "Oh, that's cool." He's like, "I go, what is it?" He's like, "It's called Servants." And I was like, "That's cool." He's like, "Hey, put a shirt on, a model for me." So I put a shirt on, and I didn't even know what Instagram was.
Yeah.
I was like, "What's Instagram?" He's like, "Oh, look at this Instagram." Oh, this is cool. So I started going on shoots with him and stuff, and looking at behind the scenes stuff, and I started taking pictures on my cell phone with him, just messing around.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, those are cool photos." I was like, "Oh, cool." So I didn't tell anybody, but I started an Instagram.
Okay.
And I just started posting random photos on there. And after like a couple hundred followers, I told my buddy, "Hey, this is my page." He's like, "Oh, let's grow this to something." He's like, "Why is it Billy the Kid?" My dad's name is Billy, and everybody called me Billy as I was growing up.
Yeah.
So I was like, kind of like Billy the Kid. I'm like,
Billy the Kid it is.
It is. So as we're out shooting, I think I didn't even have a camera yet.
Okay.
I was shooting everything on my cell phone. And we go out on the street. I have picked up a side job for a tattoo company.
Okay.
Building some walls at a tattoo convention. One of the guys at this company saw my work and he's like, "Hey, I want you to shoot my wedding." I was like, "I have my cell phone." He's like, "Go buy a camera. I'll give you $500. Like, all right. So I went out and bought a camera. I learned how to use it on YouTube.
Okay.
I learned what ISO is and f-stops. I learned everything just over those 30 days. YouTube. And I went out and I shot the wedding. And it just took off from there.
Wow.
It just, I don't know. I didn't choose photography.
Okay.
You know, it chose me. And I just ran with it. And at that time, I'm shooting for Servants, and we're helping him grow that brand. I mean, Servants was pretty big in the streets already, but he did everything himself. He printed, he'd promote, he'd take his own pictures. He did everything. So once I picked up the camera, he put down his.
Oh, and then you.
And then he focused more on the networking and building, and I did all the photos.
Wow.
So we just kind of bounced each other off and everything.
That's dope.
I remember when I met my wife, my current wife now, we was in the streets in LA at a cruise. And I saw this Japanese girl. And she walked up to us like, "Hey, what's that cross and teardrop?" Japan, it's very big in Japan. And so we explained to her what it meant. Because they didn't know what it was. Everybody was asking about it. And she was from Japan. She was here shooting. She's a photographer.
Okay.
And I was like, "Oh, that girl's pretty." So we started hanging out. And then we started dating. So now we're going on 6 years married now.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah. So it works. We both shoot, you know what I mean? We have a beautiful daughter now. She's 3 years old.
Wow.
But this would have never happened if I didn't go and learn what I learned in prison.
Made those decisions and all of that. Is there any does Billy the Kid have any regrets?
Honestly, I don't regret nothing. If I had to do everything over again, I would choose same gun, same place, same person, same car. I would do it all over again because I learned a lot. And I think I had to go to prison to learn.
Okay.
Like, I didn't have respect for anybody. I didn't care who you were or anything. But inside, I learned respect real quick. You know what I mean? You learn respect for people.
Yes, sir.
For authority, for everything. They tell you when to use the restroom. They tell you when to sleep. And that's just what it is. So I learned a lot in that 7 years. I don't think I would have ever learned on the streets.
Wow.
So I went through that for a reason.
So you feel by you going through prison, the 7 year, that was a blessing in the sky?
Yeah.
Somewhere, something like that?
I didn't see that until the very end.
Okay.
In the beginning, I didn't see why.
Okay.
And then after I got out, I realized why I needed it. Like, I wouldn't be here today if I didn't.
You needed to go through that process to have changes within you and understand the whole meaning of life.
I was a hard head, so I had to go through a hard time to learn what I learned, So, I mean, it was a blessing.
Now that you're reminiscing all of the situation, what do you think about that? What are your thoughts now that you are on a different stage in life and, having your second daughter, being married for a second time and being clean for so many years, and now you see things from far away. What are your thoughts now, Billy?
Now it's like I feel like I'm making up for lost time. So everything I do, I go hard. I just don't know how to stop now. My wife says, "Why do you have so much energy?" It's like, well, I don't know how to stop. Like, I just keep going. Right now I work for the union. Okay. I've been working for the union for 7 years now. This is the longest job I've ever held down in my life.
Wow.
So it's just not it's a good paying job, benefits and everything. I've never had that, so it's a different life. I don't think I would have this job. We bought a house. I don't think I ever would have bought a house. For sure, if I was using, I wouldn't be where I'm at today, And honestly, like, every year since I've been out, it's got better and better and better. I used to go 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Okay.
It hasn't been that way since I got out. And it's just been going, every year is just getting better and better. I'm not perfect.
Nobody is.
I still make mistakes.
Yeah.
But I can tell you this, I don't get high anymore. Like, I've never gone back. I've never thought about it. you know. And there's after getting clean, I realized it wasn't just the drug that was the problem. It was me. So I'm working on myself now. You know, everything that my attitude and still, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Here and there, it's like now I'm working on myself.
Good.
It just wasn't the drug. You know, there's a lot more that goes with it than that.
Correct.
But life's better. I mean, I can't complain now. I can't complain.
Making the right decision and going to the right path and all that.
Got a beautiful family.
Great.
My family's still there. They all support me.
How's your relationship with your older daughter?
Oh, it's the best. Oh, she just started college.
Nice.
She started college. She goes to Long Beach.
Good for her.
So, you know, I mean, she's making good decisions.
Great.
She sees that what I went through. You know what I mean? She's 19 now. So, and she's smart. So she knows right from wrong. And she sees the mistakes I've made in life. And I know she doesn't make those mistakes because she knows what I put the family through. You know what I mean? She's seen it. Even though they're kids, they know at a young age what's going on. They're not dumb, you know. So I wasn't always the best, but I was always there. You know. So now, moving forward, my daughter's 3 right now.
Okay.
This was the year that I got taken away from my first daughter. So from this point forward, I don't know what's going on with my. Like, I never seen my daughter, my youngest, my oldest. I left when she was 3. So my daughter now, like, I don't know what 4 is like. I don't know what 5 is like. So I'm like reliving everything right now. I don't know these stages. I seen her behind the glass.
Yeah.
You know. So it's all brand new. It's refreshing. It's stressful. It's tiring. You know.
But you enjoy it.
I enjoy it.
Good.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Good. What exactly motivates you right now at this point in life? Is there anything that you feel that gives you that energy that motivates you for you to become a better version now for yourself and for your family around you?
Me thinking back of who I was, I don't want to go back that way. So I think moving forward every day motivates me and doing something new and just staying busy. Like, what gets me out of bed every day is caffeine. You know,
Same here.
It's caffeine, coffee, energy drinks. However I get caffeine, that gets me going. And then I just put that energy into something else. Positive instead of something negative, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's just how it goes now. You know?
Nice.
Like, see my family happy, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm not rich, but we have food, you know what I mean? Like, we just make a living.
Good.
And we're having a good time doing it.
That's good. That's good. What is Billy the Kid's strengths and weakness? What is your weakness for Billy the Kid, and what is your strength?
I never thought about that. So, I mean, cut. No, I'm just kidding.
It's all right. You don't have to answer that. Do you have any mentors in life? Or did you have any when you were younger, or in the process of you changing? Did you have any mentors and you were like, they were giving you they planted that seed?
Yeah, I had a lot of mentors. I grew up, all my parents and friends were all pastors in church, and so I was around a lot of people that planted seeds in my life all the time. You know, I remember in particular there's this guy, his name was Big John. He was went to a church, he was a pastor, and did drug counseling. And at one point in life, me and servants Los, we were in the same rehab class with him, and he would teach us, and not just like try to give us the book, but actually show us like, hey, you guys are messing up. And where he wouldn't even allow us to go together to the class because he knew we would get high.
Yeah.
So we would have to go separate, but we end up leaving and getting high anyways together. But he was a big inspiration in our lives and spoke into our lives, and different pastors, you know, in the church that would actually talk to us like we're friends, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They would plant seeds in us, and they never gave up on us.
It's good.
They just never gave up. And I think that's a lot to do with how we are. Like, we had a lot of support around us. We just didn't realize it. Like, we didn't care. Now that we look back, it's like, man, they were always there. My parents, my mom never gave up.
That's a blessing.
Yeah, she's always been there. That was probably she had my back to the fullest, no matter if I was wrong or right. She didn't care. She was there.
Definitely. I feel for a mother point of view, her son is never a bad person.
No,
You know what I
never.
mean?
Like she would swing first and ask questions later. That's how it was. She's still the same.
Good.
But now I'm doing good now, so
I'm glad
Yeah.
you remember. I'm glad you remember a lot of good memories with her and all those people. What are your personal values are most important to you?
I try to treat everybody the same. I value everybody the same. I don't care where you're at in life, what you got in life, how many followers you got.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me. Whether you're washing dishes or you own, I know CEOs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And CEOs, like it doesn't matter like where you're at. Like I have respect for you. Just I value people for where they're at.
For who they are at the end of the day.
It just, you have a good character, hold yourself in integrity. That's what I like. It's like, I like to think that I'm the same way every day in business, in personal life, because I think straight. I'm not high anymore. You know what I mean? Like, if you deal with me today, tomorrow you're gonna get the same Billy, because I'm the same way every day.
Correct.
Like it doesn't change.
That's nice.
I'm gonna charge you the same today as I charge you tomorrow.
What do you want people to remember you?
I think my photos speak for themselves. I think they'll remember me through my photos. Remember me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Every now and then cracking a joke, making them laugh, just making them smile. I think photos make people smile, make them happy.
Yeah.
And if I'm not working or I'm not doing a job, like either we're going on trips or we're taking pictures for ourselves, those are just memories. So when people remember things, they'll remember that,
It's a frozen memory.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. How's Billy the Kid dealing with regrets and mistakes?
I don't regret any of it, but I've learned I don't forget my mistakes. Like everything that I've been through was something for me to learn. So I've grown from those mistakes and I've learned what not to do anymore. So it's a lot easier to get by in life now that I remember the stuff that I've gone through, the stuff that I've done to people and how they feel. Mm-hmm. And I just don't make those mistakes no more. It's just easier now.
Going through life and, reminiscing and going up and downs, what has been your best advice that you have received?
I remember the best advice that pops into my head right now would be my dad telling me, every time those church doors are open, you go. And I try to heed to that, but life's busy sometimes and I fall off, not the best, but I do have a relationship with God and I do go to church. Maybe not as much as I should, but I do go. And that's some of the best advice that I got from him before.
Your dad's?
Yeah, from my dad.
That's nice. How often you go to church?
I try to go once a week.
You go by yourself or you go with family?
It depends how early I go. If we have shoots that day or we got something going on. But I go on Sundays. Sometimes I go my wife and my daughter goes with me. Sometimes I go by myself. It just depends what kind of day it is. So you go to church and you start reminiscing your past life, or you just be thankful of having just honestly, another day? I don't reminisce my past life. I don't think about it much. I just don't forget it. But no, I just go to church. I mean, just thankful for the day. Thankful for what's going on now. Yes, sir. I'm blessed. Yeah. I think sometimes we do forget of just little things like that, as be thankful that we're alive, you know what I mean? That our family is healthy, it's good, you know what I mean? Yeah. Just overall, just laying down in our own bed and say, you know what, God, thank you for giving me another day. I'm grateful. You know what I mean? Yeah. Thank you for letting me rest in my own bed. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's a blessing. Sometimes having so much chaos in life, as it's good, it's not complaining, but I feel that my personal point of view, that we definitely take little things for granted, and that little thing as, just laying down with the loved ones and you're like, oh shit, I'm here. Yeah. You know what I mean? Be appreciative on
on that time.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Difficult times, how going through those difficult times in life, how those difficult times have shaped you for today.
I think those difficult times made everything I am today possible. Like, I think everything that happened was for a reason, you know, like the way I conduct myself, the way I act, the way I talked. Like, I had to go through those things to be where I'm at today. If I didn't, I don't think I would be the same person, for sure. So every mishap, every mistake, it was for a reason, you know. I had to go through those things to share my story.
Yeah.
If I share my story and one kid hears it, the drugs are crazy nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, if I was using drugs now, there's so much stuff out there now.
It's different.
It's way different. I mean, it hasn't been that long, but it's been long. You know what I mean? I think I've been clean 16 years now. April 10th of last month, I made 16 years.
Congratulations.
I believe it was 16 years. 15 or 16. 2009. So
yeah,
you guys do the math. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know where I would be at if I was still using right now, or even if I was here. So every mistake was, I had to go through it, you know.
You embrace it.
I had to embrace it. And I don't look back at what I did, but I don't forget, you know. I think if you look back at everything, you start reminiscing, oh, that's when people get caught up.
Okay.
I remember it, and I don't forget it.
Good.
You know, that way it's in me because I know where I came from.
Smart.
You know, and I still have family and friends that are still out there in the streets, and but I treat them the same. Like, I don't judge anybody. Like, hey, we were all there at one point. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter who you are or what you do. Like, if you're still a friend, you're still a friend.
Yeah, that's true.
Doesn't mean I hang out with you every day anymore, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't treat you any differently.
Yeah, you respect people's decisions.
Absolutely. Like, hey, that's what you do. That's what you do.
Whatever moves your boat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, for me, I just can't do it. Like, I'm an addict. I can't do that stuff. And it's like, I've learned, you know, that I'm not a normal person. If I get addicted to something, I go full force.
You go hard.
Yeah. So right now, I think in life right now, it's photography that has me going. It's like my drug. It just keeps me going right now.
What was your first camera? What brand was it? What model was it?
It was a phone.
after that, yeah, you had a phone, and after you say you purchased a camera to do the wedding.
My first camera was I bought a camera off my friend from church. His name's Joel.
Okay.
One of the best videographers out there. Shout out Joe. And yeah, he gave me a camera for $1,000 and make payments on it.
Wow.
And so I bought a Canon 5D Mark III, and I had used that for a couple years. And then finally, I upgraded.
Okay.
But yeah, I think the best camera in your hand, you know, that's the best camera you have.
True.
So, I mean, that thing went everywhere with me.
You still have the camera?
No, I sold it. I sold it after I upgraded. I sat in my closet for like a year, and I was like, man, I don't even use this camera no more. So I got rid of it. I should have kept it, but I mean, I used it to upgrade on different lenses and stuff like that. But I mean, honestly, like, yeah, I mean,
yeah. So
that camera has taken me places I wouldn't even dream of. You know what I mean?
Couldn't imagine it.
No, it's wild. I remember I started shooting when I got out. I met a he's a friend of mine now. His name's Bobby Tribal.
Okay.
I did a job for him. I didn't even have my passport yet. He's like, hey, get your passport. So I went out, got my passport, and a couple months later, he's like, hey, we're going to the Philippines. First time out of the country. I flew out to the Philippines for like 3 weeks with Bobby and a bunch of friends.
Wow.
And it was because of photography. And it's taken me everywhere. It's opened a lot of doors.
How old were you when you went out to that trip?
I was probably like 35. I say I was up there 35, 36, maybe 3 years ago.
How when you go to when you get hired to take pictures, what exactly Billy the Kid sees to take that frame?
I don't know. It's just, I mean, everybody has a camera.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody shoots nowadays, and that's good. You know what I mean? The more the merrier. Like, there's enough people and enough things in this world to shoot. Like, it's funny. Some people get mad that people take the same. Everything's been done.
Yeah.
You know, nothing's new under the sun.
True.
Like, everything that you think you've been here first, somebody
did it.
You know what I mean? You think you went into these projects first, somebody already did that.
Yeah.
Like, nothing's new. It's just you put your own twist on it.
Correct.
And change it up a little bit, you know. And you can't take away from the people that did in the past. You can't take away from the guys now. Like,
of course,
there's a lot of great photographers nowadays. Whatever camera you use, like everybody's at their own place and time.
Yeah.
And I think I was just at the time. I just see things differently, and I just shoot differently. And it's just, I meet connections. I meet people. I'm a people person, so I talk to everybody.
Yeah.
And so it's a little more easy to get into the door if you're talking to them, you know what I mean? And not just there, a quiet person. Just because you have a camera in your hand doesn't open doors.
Of course.
Like, I've always been a hustler, you know what I mean? I think my first job, I was knocking on doors, selling Edison security systems. I was a door-to-door salesman at 16. So I've always been that hustler person.
Correct.
You know, so wherever I'm at, I'm going to be getting to places regardless of what's in my hand.
Put in that work.
Yeah.
What was your first contract or your first job that you got that make your life see things different?
I want to say right after that wedding, I had an idea. And I approached this company and I told them, hey, if you give me X amount of dollars a month, mm-hmm. I'll shoot your content, because you guys can't do it. Like, you guys are tattooing. This was a tattoo company.
Okay.
It's called Bishop Rotary.
Okay.
And I was like, I'll come to your studios, different studios you sponsor, whatever, and I'll take behind the scenes photos, content while they're tattooing. And you guys just give me this much money a month. And they said, yeah. So that sparked something in me. And I went to a makeup studio.
Okay.
Gave them the same thing. They're out of Downey, named Glow.
Okay.
Glow Academy. And I said, hey, gave them the same thing, and they hopped on board. Then I went to a vape company. One of my homie, nephew Nick. Okay. He was working at this company in Orange County, and he got me in the door there to shoot their content.
Dope.
And then I was shooting for the barbershop. And so I had all these retainers. And I'm like, man, this is pretty cool. And I think those were my first little gigs that got me places to meet people. And in the tattoo scene and the barber world, they kind of co-mix.
Yeah.
And I just kept going out and shooting in the streets for myself, street photography. I like doing street stuff just by myself, not making money, just shooting buildings, shooting just cars. For fun. And I think that's how I started just getting into the scene and starting to see what I like. And I shoot everything now. Yeah. I mean, mostly cars and tattoos, but I shoot everything. Graffiti. I remember I shot a graffiti. I think I did a mural. There was a mural in Long Beach when I got out. And I was like, oh, that's a cool mural. And one of our buddies had did it. I had just met him, but it was a cool spot. It was next to a barbershop. So I went over there, took a photo. And the owner of the barbershop, it was a Syndicate Barbershop in Long Beach. The owner hit me up. His name's Tim. He's like, who's my dog now? And he hit me up. I was like, hey, come to a party. So I went to this party he was throwing, and we just hit it off, and that's my dog. Like, after that, it just kind of took off. Like, from there to the barbershops, from the barbershops, wow, to this barbershop, to the tattoo, it just kind of just started taking off. I started meeting people. He was telling me, hey, you should shoot this person. Hey, you shoot that person. And it just started taking off. Like, it opened doors. It just opened doors. And at the time, I was rolling around with Tim. He was, everybody was trying to raffle a car off, doing giveaways. Yeah. And he was doing giveaways. And I was shooting some of his cars. And we shot some cars, but it was like everybody on Instagram is doing it.
Yeah.
Right? So we had to think of something different. So I was like, how about we take your cars that you have and take them everywhere, up north, Vegas, let's put them on trailers. And he was crazy enough to, he's like, let's do it. I was like, oh crap, all right. So we took the cars on the road, and we took those cars everywhere for that raffle. And as we're doing this, he's like, let's rent a studio. So we rented a studio, and in a white room, and we walk in, and I'm like, this is pretty dope. Like, I looked at the setup, I looked at everything, and I'm looking around. The first time I walked in the studio like this, I never seen before. And he's looking at me, and I was like, I can do this. And so at that moment, I had a dream already. Plus my wife, her dream was to have a studio.
Okay.
Right? I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know where it was going. At the moment, during this time, I was clearing out our garage. I was getting a storage, and I was putting stuff in a storage because I was going to build her a studio.
Okay.
In our house for her to shoot portraits. And so our garage is a small little garage, you know, like, but studios, like, people do them in apartments. I'm like, it'll work. This is going to work. Let's do the garage. And I'm halfway cleared out, and I'm like, I stopped doing that to do this giveaway with Tim.
Okay.
And after that, I was like, oh, I'm going to do this. So I saved up a little bit after those giveaways, and what I made, I invested it in. Honestly, what I made, I was nervous to do anything with it.
Okay.
Right, I was nervous to do anything with it, and he pushed me. He's like, nah, F that. You're gonna look for a spot. Like, you're doing this. And I was like, I'm nervous. He's like, no, you're doing this. And he pushed me. He literally pushed me.
Wow.
So if it wasn't for him, I probably would just sat comfortable for a while. But he literally pushed me, and I went looking for the spot, and that's where we're at now. I found a spot, and we came in here, and it worked. So
you saw yourself setting up your shop here and getting everything together.
Got everything together. I'm like, all right, this will be a lot of work, but we did it.
Wow.
We did it, and I built a studio for my wife downstairs, so she shoots full time here.
Yeah.
She shoots a lot of maternity and baby shoots, backdrops, old school backdrops, and she's making it work as well.
Good for her. So you were scared to invest into what we have here.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was scared. Like, I mean, I've always tried different things, and it's like, I've learned that if you don't try, right, you'll never know.
True.
So failure is a part of learning something.
Correct.
And what's the worst could happen? I'll fail, lose some money.
Yeah.
You can always make money. And so, but I needed that push, and he gave me that push. And so I'm glad.
Good for you.
I'm grateful for that.
Now that you see your business established, what do you think about it now that eventually your dream came to life? That's a big step.
Well, I'm looking for the next thing now. Like, this is still going, but now my wheels are spinning. Like, there's more to it now. Like, I don't know what it is.
Where are you heading now?
I don't know. Honestly, I mean, I don't know. This is here. It's going, but we got some couple books in the works. With a couple companies I'm working. Yeah. I'm shooting for a company called Tropical Glitz.
Okay.
And I got a lot of his cars coming in here. He does paint. He makes the paint. Got a lot of good things going on with Room 101. Room 101. It's funny. I met him during COVID. Okay. When remember COVID? That was like 5 years ago.
Yes, sir.
That was a long time already. That went by
kind
fast.
of 5 years.
Yeah. So 2020.
Yeah.
I get someone on Instagram hits me up, and he's like, hey, the National Guard, I didn't know who he was. The National Guard is in front of my warehouse, and you take cool photos right now. Like, if you can go down to my jewelry company in downtown LA, it'll be cool to capture them. You know what I mean? Because they're in the streets. And at that time, I was going back and forth from LA every day to capture the riots, because that's history.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't a hired job. It was just something to document. Like you'll never see that again.
Correct.
So I was like, he caught me at the right time. I packed my stuff up, went to LA, and I captured what he wanted. And he's like, man, I like your photos. Like, let's do some more work together. And so I shot him the retainer deal. And I was like, how about this retainer? And he's like, all right, well, let's try it out for a couple months and see how it works out. And
Okay.
then I'll let you know. You know, we'll see where it goes from there. Well, it's been 5 years, and Matt Booth at
Wow.
Room 101 is one of my best friends. Like, we work together a lot.
Good
Like,
for
I
you.
shoot all his content, his jewelry, his cigars, his gin, and I would have never known where it would have went if I didn't just go out and take a shot. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like, literally just came back from Paris 2 days ago.
Okay.
I was in Paris with Matt Booth.
With him.
Yeah, Room 101.
Wow.
Yeah.
So from being an addict, then being incarcerated for 7 years, then going to Paris, having your second daughter, being married again. What exactly, how is Billy the Kid describing peace at this point in life?
Peace?
Yes.
I think this is all peaceful. Life was chaotic back then. And just going home, coming home to the family, going to work, that's peaceful. You know what I mean? That's something that, I mean, I always had the family. It's just never been. I've always been the one causing the chaotic mess.
The black sheep.
Right? So I was always the problem. Now it's a different type of, like, when there's problems and stuff, it's different now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like before.
You approach it different.
Yeah. It's way different. Like, it's just different. Like, life is different. You know? I think the first time I realized that life was different was it was the Philippines, right? And then after that I went to Japan with my wife. She's from Japan.
Okay.
So we go every year now. And we went the first time, and then now we go back every year. We take Carlos Macias with us from Cryptic Tattoo.
Yeah.
He'll go out with us. He's my brother. And
Southern man.
and we'll go out there and do pop-ups with servants and Carlos, and we'll just travel, sightsee.
Nice.
I mean, never thought I would be going to Japan. You know what I mean? It's a different life. It's just different now. I can't describe it. I mean, it's just, I'm normal like everybody else. I'm an everyday man. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
It's just different.
Your decisions make you to go that different route, different path. Well, before we move forward, you mentioned the cigar. We do have a sponsor for La Vida Podcast. It's a good friend of mine. His name is Chato. He owns a small company. It's a mobile company for cigars. His name is Sitting Bull Cigars, and he provided us with a cigar with our logo in here. So we want to give you one. I don't know if you smoke or something like that.
I don't smoke,
You know what I mean?
but I'll keep it as a souvenir.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
It will be appreciated. Thank you to
Absolutely.
Chato for always getting out of his ways and sharing the good stuff out here. So if you smoke cigars or if you like anything like that, please go follow him on Instagram. It's Sitting Bull Cigars, I'm sorry. And then his name is Chato. Thank you. Appreciate you, brother. So peace, Billy the Kid. Peace is your family nowadays.
Yes.
How do you, how is Billy the Kid cope with setbacks or disappointments?
As lessons. I take them as lessons. You know, we don't lose. We don't take losses no more. We're just lessons now.
We learn from them.
Yeah. So everything's a win. Every day that I'm clean is a win. So either I take a setback, it's still a win.
You don't take it as negative.
No, you can't. You can't. I don't get depressed. I don't get depression. I don't get depressed or mope about things. It's like I learned from inside that if I can't control it, like if I can't the situation, I can't control the situation. So why am I going to cry about it? Because inside I couldn't control where my daughter was at, or where, what they were eating or anything. My hands were tied inside. So I couldn't stress about anything out there at all because I was out of control.
Yeah.
I couldn't help the situation. I couldn't do anything. So I learned that for so long that if I can't control it, it's okay. Like if I can't move this bottle, I don't worry about it. Like it's gonna do what it does.
Cool.
So.
Okay, Billy. Thank you again for giving us the opportunity, opening your doors from your premises. What would be your advice, Billy, to your younger version today?
Put your seatbelt on and go for a ride.
It's gonna be bumpy.
It's gonna be bumpy.
That's right.
So like we're telling, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Just put your seatbelt on.
It's gonna be bumpy ride.
Yep.
Great. I like that answer. All right, Billy. So where we are here today?
We're at OG Click Studios, located in Santa Fe Springs.
Yeah.
We created this studio maybe a little over, I want to say, a year and a half now.
Okay.
So we had an idea and we executed the idea. We found a place and we created, the idea was to create something where we have a car studio plus a portrait studio,
okay,
a loft, and we found a perfect spot, and it just worked. It's a creative space where you can shoot cars, music videos, portraits, families, anything you think of. It's a perfect place. We have shows here. Every couple of months we run a workshop for kids and adults.
Okay.
Where we teach them how to pick up a camera and actually get involved. We bring in a car with models, and we feed them. It's a tire day course.
Okay.
For beginners and advanced. I think the workshops are pretty cool. It's something that we also do here.
Cool. Will you be kind to give us a tour?
Yeah, come on in.
Appreciate you.
It didn't look like this before. It was just a hole in the wall. We had to come in here and redo the floor, put the walls up, the light box. Everything you see here has been very thought and well planned to what we do. Places like this, we're a lot to rent. So, and it gets expensive. You keep trying to rent them. So we just like, well, let's do it ourselves. So.
You jump to it in. Can you give us a little bit of the when you bring the kids, little story on that part, when you bring the kids or the adults and take photographs and show them how to use the camera, who came out with that idea?
I did.
Okay.
I always want to help people, and with the following that has been growing, I mean, why not give back? Yeah, it costs a little bit, but that's just so I could pay the car, the models, the food, and people just want to learn. Like there'll be models here that they want to photograph, and they don't see them in the streets. Well, we pay the models to be here to pose and show them about the lighting. What's the best lighting? What's the best portraits? We had a couple photographers come out, and I paid them to run the class in the back. So it'd be 2 different rooms.
Okay.
And then we take them outside, teach them about the lighting outside. It's a lot different than inside lighting.
Of course.
So it's going well.
Wow. So is this anyone that wants to be on the photography field and they want to learn more deeply? How are they able to reach out to you regarding that part? How often you make it? How often you make the sessions, and how can the people reach out to you?
We're gonna start running the sessions like every other month.
Okay.
And they can just reach out in a DM. And once I put it out there, the class, it fills up pretty quick.
I'm sure.
So DMs are the best. I always put my number out there as well. I take phone calls. I answer all the phone calls. So it's just the best way.
So you take any kid that feels that wants to learn the trade.
Yeah. Any, not just kids, but any. I mean, I'm 41 now, so like if you're 20 years old, you're a kid to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not. Some of them, they can be better than me, but they want to be here. You know what I mean? But at any age, we've had teenagers in the class. We had adults in the class.
Okay.
So we're open for anything.
So overall, just helping the youth and the adults to become a better photographers.
Yeah.
You know.
Because I mean, I learned all myself. Like nobody taught me anything. And I don't know everything. I still learn every day. Like I'm always learning, like something new. Before this happened, I didn't know anything about studio lighting. It's a lot different than outside lighting.
Outside light.
You know?
How long did it take you to learn all of this, the trade itself, as having your setup as a white wall, like you stated, and putting it all together like this?
Honestly, I did research for like 90 days. Rented out different studios with a buddy of mine, and just did research. There wasn't anybody to teach you this stuff. So it was just a trial and error, like what works best. Like what was the whole thing of this place was, the main focus here is to shoot cars. I photograph cars.
Okay.
So that's the main thing here is cars. And then if you go in the back, I have a back room right there. My wife, she shoots portraits.
Okay.
Like she's a killer on the camera. She shoots amazing portraits, different style than me, similar, but it's different. And so I built that for her so she can work here, and I built a room for the baby to hang out. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I built a loft upstairs where we were just at talking.
Yeah.
So when I have cars come in, the customers go upstairs and kick back, but they don't. They just hang out.
They just hang out right here with you.
Yeah. So we're thinking about building something else up there. Maybe some props, some setups.
What is your type of customers that you get for them to get your service here on this premises?
What is what?
The type of customers that you get, like low
it's
rider,
all different. A bunch of lowriders. A lot of people just want their cars to be photographed, and they frame them, put them on their wall. But lately I've been having a lot of cars coming in for sale that are going out for sale.
Okay.
So to get a high value number in your car,
Makes sense.
I mean, it looks better in a studio than just in front of your house.
Yeah.
And people are catching wind of that, and they're coming down here, and we get a lot of people for the for sale cars, which is cool.
Great. So anybody
I shoot high-end automobiles.
Okay.
Lowrider, Ferraris, it doesn't matter what it is. So I didn't think I'd be shooting cars, but like I said, it's just kind of where you go, you know what I mean? Like I'm still figuring things out.
You just roll with the punches.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
Before this we were doing we do art shows all the time. We do this show called Backyard Boogie.
Okay.
It'll be back next year. It started off as an art show.
Okay.
So I had an idea for my buddy Lowe's from Servants wanted to do a show. We weren't sure what kind of show. Then I had an idea for a show. Like, want to wait for that?
Yeah. There you go.
No.
Go ahead.
So I had an idea for a show. I was like, I wanted to do, print my pictures on canvases.
Okay.
Right? Pictures that I took, and then have friends that I made over the years, tattoo artists, draw on top of the canvas.
Oh.
And then host that at the show as an original. And then as we're collaborating ideas, that was one of the main focus of the shows was canvases, and we added some music and some tattoo artists.
Nice.
And we started off in Long Beach at this place called Gray. And the first show I did 20 canvases with 20 different artists. And we sold some stuff, we had a good time, and then after the third year, we just kind of like grew out of that. So we found a warehouse, and it turned into a convention.
Oh, wow.
We had 70 booths. So it was like over 100 artists there.
Wow.
From all over the world.
Tattoo artists?
Yeah, tattoo artists. And we still kept the canvases.
Yeah.
And at this time I brought in different artists now, different photographers to host their canvases, and we lined them up with artists to draw on top of their canvases.
Okay.
So I wasn't just my canvases no more. I brought in just different photographers.
You open the doors for everybody to
just
shine
to
as
come
well.
have a good time, you know what I mean?
That's the way to do it.
Help them sell the canvases, help them promote themselves. We had performers and vendors and cars outside. So next year we'll bring it back again. And
so this is a 1 year, every year, what's it, show or?
Yeah, well, it's every other year.
Every other year.
Every other year we do this show. So it's called Backyard Boogie.
Wow,
So,
this is nice. So how many hours does it take for you to do a photo shoot in here when you have that? Is there a specific way to, first of all, who can approach you, or how can anybody approach you to set up an appointment?
Oh, Instagram is always the best.
You know what I mean?
Oh, they could just hit me up on a DM. I'm checking it regularly, daily. Yeah, it's just word of mouth and DM. They could just hit me up.
Correct. So it will be open to anything.
Anything. I'm open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it don't matter.
How long does it take you for you to have a nice photo shoot in here?
It's for a car.
Yes.
It takes me 2 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours front and back.
Wow.
Depending on all the details. If the last couple of cars that came in here, they have all the accessories.
Okay.
It takes a little bit over 2 hours.
Wow.
Pull the car in, photograph it inside and out, all the accessories, pull it out, clean the floor, back it back in, shoot every other side of it. So it takes about 2 hours.
Wow. Is there any anything out of the ordinary that you've gotten from any customer?
Any what?
Anything out of the ordinary? Any
No.
request?
No.
Type of thing?
No,
No?
everything's been pretty straightforward.
That's dope. Well, Billy, what would be your advice for this new generation that wants to be a photographer or take this trait that you have?
My advice would be shoot every day. Every day. No matter what it is, just shoot. My buddy told me that before. His name's Esteban Oriol. It's the best advice that I could shoot every day. You know, in the beginning when I first started off, I took everything, every job that came my way, big or small, little pay, no pay, free. I just said yes to everything. Just put yourself out there.
Yeah.
The more content you create, the more connections you make, it'll come your way. You know, but it's a lot of grind and sweat in the beginning. It's a lot of using your own money and your own time to get places, your own gas.
True.
You know, and you're not always making money, but the more you say yes, the more people see you, the more you grow. So that would be my best advice: is just say yes to everything.
How to be consistent on what they're doing.
You got to be consistent.
Definitely.
The internet will take anything you give them. So the more you give them, the more they take. So.
Definitely. As long as they love their job or what they're doing, it's not a job, you know?
Yeah.
Something that's passionate into it.
Yep, absolutely.
Billy, so now that you are this stage in life, you know, you have your studio, you have so many clients getting photo shoots and you know, all of that. What is the next step for Billy the Kid? Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
That's a secret. No, I was kidding. Well, I can't really say. My goal is always changing.
Yeah.
It changes daily, monthly. Right now, the goal is to keep these doors open at the moment. And there's things in the works, and I don't want to speak about, but if they work through, then the goal will change again.
Of course.
You know, but right now the goal is just to be here, just to create. This studio is for rent, for other people to come in here and rent. They can rent out by the hour, by the 2 hours. So I open the doors for friends to make money here as well. Like, if you got a job and it pays you, you're my friend,
True.
Then I get paid. But if you have an idea that you just want to create something for yourself and you're not making money, I let them in here and use it.
Yeah.
Have fun, create. Like, this is a creative space. Like, in the next month or so, this will be going on Peerspace. So Peerspace is like a network.
Okay.
Where if you're looking for a photo shoot and you need like a studio or a house or a room, you can go on there and type it in and things will pop up in your area. So this will be going on Peerspace to be rent to the public, to everybody. Right now it's rent, I can rent it out to everybody through DM, but it'll go on this network to do that.
Okay.
So this place will just keep going.
So it can be used whoever
anybody that wants to come in here and use it. They want to use the white wall in the room, they can rent it out. They want to use the loft, they want to use this place, whatever.
That's dope.
So right now the goal is to keep the doors open, and next month it'll be different. Like, it's just
taking it day by day, making the best out of it.
It's nonstop.
Yes, sir.
You know,
having this platform that you have created, you know, from scratch, you know what I mean? Photographing, media, pretty much all of the above. And there's this other, you know, individuals, kids from different backgrounds that they see you, they follow you. How Billy the Kid feels about that, knowing that, you know, your background is, you know.
Well, now I'm just more careful of what I say now, because I got a lot of people watching.
True.
Like, I'm still the same person. I'm still approachable. Like, I remember when I first started off, I would reach out to people that I looked up to in the photography game and people with a lot of following and ask them camera questions and stuff like that. And most of them won't respond. They wouldn't answer DMs or anything or comments. And I mean, I get it. Like, but so what I look at, when I see people asking me questions, I try to answer everything. and I don't care what following they have. I just answer them
Yeah.
because they didn't answer mine.
True.
So I try to answer everybody. I talk to them in person when I see them, hang out with them when I can, if I see them out on the streets. And like I said, I just be careful what I post and what I say, because I do got kids following me and adults, and it's like, I don't want to be a bad influence.
Makes
sense. Because I love to joke around. Yeah. Everything I say is a joke. If I post things, it's a joke, just messing around.
Yeah.
But I do got to watch what I say. I don't want to influence the wrong people the wrong way, and they don't know that who I am. I'm just a joker.
True. Definitely, that's what we're here for at the end of the day, to make sure that they understand who is Billy the Kid, you know what I mean? And
I'm having a good time.
Good.
Life's good.
Good. That's what we want at the end of the day.
It's fun. Like, if you're getting into photography, try to be famous. Yeah. It's the wrong reasons. Okay. Photography's fun. Go out and shoot. There's no rules to this. Like, people say this, there's no rules to this. You go out and do your thing and have fun. Yeah. That's all it is. That's nice. If you're having fun, that's all it's about.
That's a good advice. What is the picture that you have captured that is always going to be memorable for you, that you always want to remember? Was there anything that you're like, shit, this is it?
There was one time we were in San Francisco. I went to go photograph some friends, and we had photographed this one area of me and my wife, and we had a friend, his name's Tyler. Told Tyler, bring your cars up to the street, and it was just a perfect shot. And I've never seen anybody do it. I'm sure they have, maybe not, but it was like one of the most memorable shots that we've taken. Was a couple of lowriders in the middle of San Francisco with the big bridge behind it. Yeah, that was a pretty cool shot.
Wow. So you just came off with it like randomly?
We were just there.
Wow.
That was a good one. I'm sure there's more, but that's the one that pops in my head right now as you ask this question.
Nice. I see a couple of your pictures out in the wall. Can you give us a little bit of history?
Those are from Backyard Boogie.
Yeah.
Those are from some of the first canvases that I did.
Yeah.
This right here was, I forget whose cars that was, but the artist that drew on top of that's Rudy Chi. I know this wall is no longer here, but yeah, this is an original right here.
Okay.
And he painted that, and that's my photo.
Oh wow.
So that was the whole background on Backyard Boogie was to create art with photography and make it something different.
So this individual added the skull, Los Angeles on the back, and
well, Los Angeles there was on the wall already.
Okay.
But he added, you see the color, the tones, and the spider webs.
Yeah.
So same thing with one of this right here. This is a friend of mine from Chicago. His name's Scent Rock.
Okay.
Very dope, talented artist out there in Chicago.
Nice.
And that was his
his way to express himself.
Yeah.
And that's downtown LA, right?
Yeah. And this last one right here was from Carlos Macias. I took that photo in France in a cathedral.
Yeah.
And he tattooed Jesus.
Wow.
So these are all original
pieces.
That's the whole thing behind Backyard Boogie. I do it again with another maybe 20 or 30 artists on the next show.
Okay.
And bringing other photographers to do that as well. And it's just different, something different just something different.
Is there a date
fun.
for the?
We don't have a date yet, but as soon as it is, we will pump it up, pump out flyers and put it out there.
What's your vision on that next show? How do you see it?
Bigger, something different.
The same content?
Same content, tattoos, photography, cars, vendors, but we're looking into another avenue, adding something else to the show. So we'll just keep that under wraps, but it should be fun.
That's dope.
It's the same concept, just having fun. People come out, make some money, have a good time.
Great.
Get tattoos.
Great.
Buy some merch.
Make the best out of it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, have a good time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Support small business and making the best out of it.
Yeah.
I feel that would be the proper way to do it. So, well, again, thank you for opening your doors, giving us a little bit of your story for us and for the viewers as well. I'm pretty sure, like I said, the platform that you have built, is pretty strong and you have earned it. You know what I mean? So overall, we want to thank you from the bottom of our heart for giving us the opportunity.
Absolutely.
To hear your voice and your story. So thanks again. I highly appreciate it, brother. Thanks for everything.
Thank you.
Well, thanks. So again, thank you all for pretty much going out of your ways and help us create this content, over all of the sponsors. Billy the Kid for being our guest today, Sitting Bull Cigars for donating the cigars, our sponsor, and my partner of crime, Yohei Suzuki, photographer. Without him, we wouldn't be able to create all of this. So at the end of the day, always try to support a small business. We are definitely the backbone out here to support each other, you know what I mean? So again, thank you for everything. Have a great rest of your day. Just remember that. So with that being said, people will respect you as much as you respect yourself. Just remember that. Have a good day.